Yeah, Kevin, can you maybe, do you remember the moment that the comic first saw live?
Yeah, it started, well, a bit more than a year ago now. Was on a holiday, so I had too much time on my hands and no guitar around, so I started to think about what would be a nice project. I work in the primary school, so I usually have 2 months off, so I have loads of time to do something. Usually I'm running up the walls, so I decided to do a big project, and I'm really into comics and really into music, so obviously when the two come together, to me that's a good combination. The story is about a musician who has to find himself because he does have the huge crowd and the millions of people who adore him, which is not me. It's a story, so you always exaggerate. But he needs to find himself again, like who are you and why do you make the music? And I think that's a quest that I'm doing myself. I'm trying to find where the heart of my music is and why I have this passion for it. I started messing about a bit in my own home studio, just recording some ideas and making some hand-drawn comics along with it. And pretty soon I started telling people in my band about this and the idea that I had, and I don't know, it became a roller coaster ride after that, where all kinds of people heard about it and they said, hey, that's a good idea, can I join in, I want to help, and if you need a guitarist or you need a bass player or you need a drummer to do the live tracks or whatever, I'd like to help. And from there it just grew and grew. Yeah, I have a great group of people who all did it, yeah, for free, just for fun, because they really like the concept. One of the guitar players, Danny Tunker, I asked him to do a solo where he would try to be as the main character, so which is an over-the-top good guitarist, and I asked him to do a really great solo that just blows everybody away. And you can also hear that in the music. The solo just flies out the window and the entire band just crashes. So yeah, there's a part character play and normal musicianship in it. Yeah. There we go. This is the second song on the album, and it's where the listener gets to know the rock musician, the guitarist.
What's his name actually?
There's no name.
Oh.
It's very open, and I think it's also a story that people can you can make up your own story behind it. To me, it's about a rock guitarist, and there's a lot of guitars in the book also, but it could be just about anyone. He's on a concert and he's on stage and his big ego is talking to him and telling him he's the best guitarist in the world and well, screw the rest of the band, here am I. So he decides to do a flipping solo and the rest of the band just can't keep up with him, and the band collapses. And this is also the point where in my mind not only the band collapses but also the main character. That's when he really breaks down. And so after this, you really get in the line of the whole story. It starts fairly neutral. Then you get the rather happy song like this and the huge solo, and then you get a really big dip into the more darker areas of the mind where the songs are a bit sadder and more emotional. And every now and then you have a, you know, a little highlight where he decides to feel good again. We had some really cool moments where we decided to do an extra ballad because Floortje, who is doing the part of the main character's girlfriend, she wasn't getting enough attention in the project, in my opinion. So I really wanted to give her a moment to really shine as a singer also. So we made this ballad about her sitting beside the bed of the main character and talking to him while he's not there. He's still trapped inside his own mind. And she's sitting next to him and talking to him, and every now and then she goes, is he going to wake up? Is he moving? Is he? So that's what the song is about. It's a really small story about the really trivial things that go on, you know, like your mother called today and we didn't have much to say because it's been so long already, and it's a really small story in its own. People have a lot of different emotions going on at the same time, and somehow with music you always have to pick one. And if you're angry, it's going to be an angry song. If you're emotional, it's got to be an emotional song. And that's not how it works. Sometimes they all just come together. So I really wanted to make some songs that had all these elements, and the sentiment and the anger and everything just mixed up like real humans are.
Have I told you about my day? Your mother called and we didn't have much to say.
The project really goes from full-on rock to ballad like this, and a song with only pianos, and just it's all over the place.
Something that I miss. No excuses. I must.
The main sketches for the songs, which I had like 12 songs in to start out with, and I decided who to ask for what songs, and I sent them that song. So when it's a really heavy metal track, I decide, oh, it would be best for that drummer to do that song, or maybe get that guitarist for that song. And every now and then they'd say, yeah, but I really like that song, so can I do that one, and switch. So it all just fell into place rather automatically. I had a really early version of the book, and I sent the pages that they were going to do to give them you know, like if the page is really dark and I ask you to make a song with a really dark page, you're not going to play a really happy tune. So that really helped in getting everything together, because it's 13 musicians all doing one project. So if the drummer decides I want to make this bar 2 times longer, that means the solo guitarist has to do a longer solo, or I have to adapt the music to that. I had 3 main singers, one who is the main character, Sander, the main character's girlfriend, Floortje, and more like an ego version of the main character, the narrator of the story, which is Eddie Borremans. So that's 3 singers who come in the project at several times. So it all comes together. So when I have Eddie in the studio, we have to go through the project from start to end to record all his songs, and then do the same thing with the bass player, do the same thing with, you know, all the different musicians. So it was all finished at the very last moment, and I'm still changing things because it hasn't been released yet. So I'm really making it perfect now. What I'd like you to hear is a part where both the main character and his girlfriend are talking to each other, but they're not actually reaching each other. And it's a nice little piece of music where there's also a nice bass solo that we improvised here on the spot and turned out, yeah, really beautiful. And it really comes to show how the musicianship in this project really, yeah, made the whole thing much bigger than I intended it to be.
Was it first the comics or was it first the music? Or
I think it was first the story that I
Okay.
had in mind, and I draw a lot, draw my own comics and do photography and that kind of stuff. But when you start making a story about a musician, it's also very logical to make the music alongside with it. So that's how the two come together when you make a story about the musician. I think I would have made this project myself as well, and I would have gotten the story out of my system. But the interest that I'm getting now, because all these people cooperate, I wouldn't have gotten that. And that's a really nice side effect of this whole project, that so many people decided to jump on board and help me out. And you know, the studio as well in helping me with the recordings and just saying, yeah, you can do it here and we'll help you out. And but yeah, on one side, now I get a bigger audience and I have a better chance to get my story across, but I would have told it anyway.
You cannot see, but can you feel?
I can't
see. You cannot see, but can you feel?
It's going to sound really sentimental, but what I'm most proud of is that it really stands, to me, it stands out as a project that everybody who did this and everybody who helped out, all the sponsors, the musicians, the people who were interested in it, it's all been about love for the music, love for helping somebody out, and you know, there's so many people around me right now who have my back, you know, so to speak, and really believe in this project. That's what I'm really proud of, that I found a group of people that still believe in just making music. You know, everybody who participated, half of them didn't even hear anything until I organized the listening party. When everything was finished, we all came together. And that's probably the first time that they all heard the entire project and actually knew what they were taking part in. But yeah, they're all really enthusiastic, and I'm getting great comments and compliments from them. So that's, to me, as a musician, that's a really big thing. I'm still thinking about whether or not to make this into a real live experience. You know, I guess it depends on how people react to it.
at the end, will it end good? The story, has it a happy ending or?
You really think I'm going to tell you that? No, you're really going to have to read the book to know
Okay.
that answer.